flag on the play. I think that's how that's used. I don't know sports. I think that's how that term.
Yeah, don't ask me.
I don't know where that came from.
I think it's a flag on the field. That makes more sense than flag on the play.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's soccer. Or is that a yellow flag? I don't know. Who's straight here?
Yellow card in soccer, flag on polo.
All right, thank you. Good. I don't know why I went with a sports metaphor. That was messy. We start with Bob the drag queen.
Hi, everyone.
RuPaul's Drag Race champion.
True, that is true.
Traitors traitor.
Traitors loser, that is also true.
Queen of the Traitors.
That's true, Queen of the Traitors. That is also very true.
And Dungeons and Drag Queens.
Yes, and Gertrude, yeah. Creator of Gertrude from Dungeons. You know, I do a lot. I get around.
You do.
You know, I will be on your TV whether you like it or not.
And we're going to talk about all that today and Bob's new book.
Author, oh my God, traitor, author, drag queen. What can't she do?
Stand up, singles.
Literally all of that.
There's a single out now. It's on Mashable's website for Harriet Tubman live in concert.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to start off talking about Traitors.
When you said singles, I thought you meant like sliced cheese. Like craft singles.
Also, is that next?
I was like, do I have a individually wrapped cheese line coming out? I didn't know about.
I like you looking at your team like, do we have a cheese line?
Do we have cheese? Do we have cheese coming out? No, we don't. I would know that. I would know about that.
I wanted to start off talking about Traitors because I will be honest. A lot of the staff of Mashable loves Traitors.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch it until you were on it.
Okay, and I didn't watch it until my friend was on it. My friend Peppermint was on season 2.
Yeah,
so that's fair.
I will be honest. Like I was like, oh, I'm totally gonna watch Peppermint on it, and then I heard what happened. I was like, wow, that bums me out.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. Yeah.
Not like no shade to Peppermint. Just that was like I was like, well, that's not what I go here for. And so we watched you, and we were so excited to have you on the show. I feel like what was interesting is I first was seeing it on TikTok and then watching it on TV.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I'm seeing the fans who are just like, Bob gets it. And then obviously things didn't go your way.
I will bury you under the sand.
I did my best. I played hard. I played fast. And I got what I deserved.
I put it, you got Boston robbed.
I got Boston robbed. Exactly. That's what it is. Someone said I posted this video like joking about Boston Rob eliminating me and being happy when he was eliminated. Someone said you're officially a graduate of the you Boston Rob University, and I am in that group. Yes, there's a big group there who's like this Boston Rob got us again. Yeah.
See, I will admit I am not versed on all the background lore of the other reality shows, so I was coming into it and people are like, oh, and so cheated on so and so. I was like, I don't know it.
Yeah, I didn't know anyone else in the house either. I mean, I obviously got to know everyone. But the queers, we quickly were like, you gay, you gay, you gay, you gay, you gay, you're gay. Yeah,
I get that. I've been in those rooms where it's.
Well, I found out about Lord Ivor that the reason why he's so popular is because he's like the first gay royal.
Yeah, I definitely learned a lot. There's a lot of Googling while I was watching, and also just my sister-in-law texting me fastidiously about.
Well, it's a combination of like 5 TV shows.
Yeah,
like it stars from like not even more than 5. You have like sometimes up to like 10 different TV shows rolled into one TV show. So you learn you have to. There's no way you can know everyone going.
Sure. And was it like the culture of that coming into that? Because I feel like it must feel like a very different thing than doing like Drag Race or Dungeons and Drag Queens.
Well, for sure. I mean, Drag Race is like a talent-based competition. It was really based on like how well you can sing and dance and do comedy and mix clothes and all that stuff. Whereas Traitors is like a strategy-based show. It's like it's like all the social game. Who can you manipulate? Who can you lie to? Who can you befriend? Who can you ally yourself with? It's all based on that kind of stuff. So it is very different. I have never done a show like this in my life. Will I ever do a show like this again? I don't know. Probably not. Probably. Who knows? Let's just depend on how good or bad my career goes. Listen, if the only 2 options are traitor and faithful, you sure host isn't an option? No, I can't.
Hey, back up.
Well, speaking to moving to Dungeons and Drag Queens, I am curious, like, how did that project come about for you guys?
So I had done a few things at Dropout. So Dungeons and Drag Queens is on Dropout. It's actually a show called Dimension 20. And they did a special season called Dungeons and Drag Queens. Each season gets its own name. It was going to be called Questing Queens or Dungeons and Drag Queens. And they ended up calling the after show Questing Queens. And I had done a Game Changer over there before. And I was like, I like Dropout. They have really, really cool stuff. I was a big College Humor fan.
Yeah.
So when I got the call, I was like, I've already done Game Changer. They have a pretty cool staff over there. Everyone gets it. They're really friendly. They're pretty professional. So I've never played Dungeons and Dragons before. I don't know how it's going to go. Do you D&D?
I did in high school to impress a boy, and then I married him, so I stopped playing.
Oh, work. Honestly, you use what you got to get what you want. I mean, you got it. And then you threw your dice away. Rolled my dice for the last time.
I will be honest, watching Dungeons and Drag Queens, he's starting a new campaign just so I'll play. Because I was like, what if I wanted to get back into it? And he was like, I have been waiting.
To be honest, you rolled a nat 20 your first time, and you said, I'm walking out on that. I got my nat 20, I'm out. Deuces, y'all.
He is going to be so excited to be referred to as being a nat 20. He's going to be elated.
But yeah, so we know we got the call, and I just showed up just kind of like, let's see what happens. But I'm this kind of person. Whatever it is, I'm going to go all in. Yeah. You saw it on the trailer. You saw it on Drag Race. You see it in Dungeons and Drag Queens. Whatever it is. When I'm at a concert, I was at a Lizzo concert recently, and at the end, she was like teaching us this dance from stage. Uh-huh. And if I'm at the concert, and the person on stage is like, everyone sway left to right, I'm swaying left to right. I'm here to have the fun. I'm like, if you're in the audience, you're too cool to sway left to right, go home.
Yeah.
Like, go home. We're here to do this thing. This like oppositional defiance thing where someone's like, if the person's telling me to sway, I'm not swaying. If the person says put your hands up, put your hands up. It'll probably be fun. It'll be more enjoyable. And there was like this dance she was teaching us, and there were people doing it, people not doing it. Monet Exchange was not doing it. I was like, Monet, just do the dance. Just do the dance. Sure. And like me and Naomi Smalls, it was me, Naomi Smalls, and Monet all side by side. And me and Naomi were like doing the dance. And I was like, Monet, I didn't even say, I was just thinking to myself, of course Monet wouldn't do the dance. Like I think she might have opposition. I'm not here to like do armchair psychology. But if there any psychologists want to evaluate Monet, I think you might get a diagnosis out of her.
It's funny because there's that Chappell Roan thing where she sees the VIP section like not dancing and she's like, you're not fun.
It's so weird that VIP thinks they're so way too cool to do this.
And I love that clip because I feel like I like that energy in the world. Like, what are we doing? Why are we ourselves?
So have you seen Madonna's Truth or Dare documentary?
Ages ago.
So there's a clip in there where she doesn't want the VIP section to be like industry people and like rich people because she's like, they're not fun. And backstage, she's like, I don't want these like rich people sitting up front. Bette Midler has another thing. If you ever watch one of her Vegas shows that they filmed, and she's talking about how the people in the front row, she's like, you're just bored. It's like she called them the American Express card ticket holders. Yeah. And she's like, you're boring. You're in the front row. Like, have fun. Yeah. So when I go somewhere to do it, I'm gonna go all in. That was me with Dungeons and Drag Queens. And I was giving myself to them. I was crying. I was laughing. I was it was so screaming. I'm screaming. Yeah.
I appreciated that because I felt like from a perspective of someone who's familiar with production, it was rather than actually screaming and having the sound team be like, oh my God. It was like,
oh, I'm screaming.
Yeah.
I'm screaming. I'm screaming.
Did you see the supercut someone put together?
I saw the I'm screaming supercut, yes.
Screaming. You're wild.
Screaming. I'm screaming.
Yeah, that's about all we can do, I think. Screaming.
I was in my I'm screaming era where I just say I'm screaming a lot. I've moved on. Now I'm in my gang era. I say gang. Gang's everything. Gang. But then Bob Harper started saying I'm screaming. So now Bob Harper from Traitors goes, I'm screaming. I'm screaming.
I love that. Yeah. The influence you are.
I don't know how I got in my gang era, but this is who I am now. I'm just someone who says gang to everything. Instead of like copy, I used to say work to everything. Someone made a supercut of me on We're Here saying work to like in any like someone like there's this video of this guy and he tells me this like really emotional story about his religious trauma and how he can't come out or he can't live his life as a gay man because he wants to go to heaven. And he's so emotional. And in the end, I just go, work.
You know, it all goes back to my job is to speak the truth, speak what, you know, God has shown me to be the truth, and then love.
Work. What I'm trying to say is I hear you.
Right. I hear that.
What I'm saying is copy,
I say
affirmative,
heard, and then I sometimes worry, especially in email, if it's just like, okay, whatever. But I'm trying to be like, no, I hear you and I understand that. Like,
but to be clear, if it was today, he'd tell me the story, I'd be like, gang.
Party.
Gang. Imagine, so it's like, and then my mother was crushed by a building. Gang.
I relate to that deeply. I think that's part of when watching you on Traitors, I was like, oh, I would do so badly at this show. And I think it's just...
You relate because you do bad. Wow! Oh, that's crazy. Just like you, I would suck. No, I'm kidding.
I mean,
No,
you did say in the reunion that you feel like that show is hard for people who have big personalities. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like you inherently are drawing more attention.
For sure.
And I will say I played the board game versions of Traitors. Like my nieces are really into. It's called Donner Dinner Party. Very classy. You're either a pioneer or a cannibal.
Oh, Donna, I was just listening to for some reason the Donner Party is in my zeitgeist
Yeah.
today. Did you know Abraham Lincoln was almost in the Donner Party?
I did not.
Yeah, he refused to go. He's like, oh, I got my campaign.
Okay, so that alternate history can be booked too.
Right?
Like,
He was almost in the Donner Party.
wow, that is wild. One of the things I quite liked about Dungeons and Drag Queens was I thought you guys had such a great group dynamic, but I'm curious, like, before time, were you kind of talking about, like, how you wanted to play your characters, or was there any kind of pre-prep, or was it,
Well,
like,
they helped us design the characters because I had never created a fantasy character like this before. So they helped us design the characters by really walking us through the process. They gave us like, you can be this kind of person, you can be this kind of person, you can be an orc, you can be a fae, you can be and I chose to be a tiefling. I was really drawn to the idea of being a tiefling. Like when I play, do you ever play Baldur's Gate?
My husband does, so I know all about it.
Yeah. So it's basically just Dungeons and Drag Queens.
Yeah.
They do all the math for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You don't have to do any math, and it's on PS5. So I'm even a tiefling in the game. I'm full on. I'm tiefling. Like it is part of. And I didn't want to be like a big strong lady because that's what I am when I'm in drag. I'm like this big giant. I want to be like a tiny, like strong minded but physically very weak person. And I thought that would be really exciting to play.
Yeah, it was really fun to watch, especially because one of the things you talked about on Traitors in the reunion was that you felt that Boston Rob was threatened by you because you're both people who like to kind of drive the car, metaphorically. Yeah. But on the show, it seemed that you kind of let Monet run ahead with Troyanne and like let Troyanne be the ruler of the group, but then would be kind of like flag on the play. I think that's how that's used. I don't know sports. I think that's how that term.
Yeah, don't ask me.
I don't know where that came from.
I think it's a flag on the field. That makes more sense than flag on the play.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I think that's soccer. Or is that a yellow flag? I don't know. Who's straight here?
Yellow card in soccer, flag on polo.
All right, thank you. Good. I don't know why I went with a sports metaphor. That was messy. No, but I love it. And then like Gertrude would kind of be like, time out, let's talk this through. And it was really fun to watch those dynamics play out. And then I loved how in season 2, when you brought the wig to it, can you tell us a little bit about your like Maleficent?
Oh, that wig?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that wig was actually made by this Emmy Award-winning hairstylist named Tyler Harris Funicelli. If you need a wig, you should reach out to Tyler on Instagram. And it was actually made for the show We're Here. I actually wore it for this Maleficent outfit that I wore in We're Here that like barely got any screen time. I don't know what was up with this outfit or why they did not give it screen time, but it barely got any screen time. And then I remember thinking to myself, like, oh my God, I'm a tiefling and I have this cool wig that I absolutely love. And because we're sitting in that room for so long, a campaign is really long.
Yeah.
You want to be comfortable. So I'm wearing this like tunic so I can be more comfortable, but I really wanted to give extra in the hair. Yeah. And it's actually, for me, it's a pretty light wig for me, actually.
Oh, cool.
So it was actually really comfortable.
Yeah, it was so dynamic looking and it was just really fun.
I love that wig.
That was such a fun show to watch. And I also just want to throw out that I liked how it seemed that you influenced Brennan in pursuing a more drag look as the season went on, and then you lent him nails for the finale.
Yeah, I lent him those nails because you know we're trying to like roll dice with these clicky clackies on, and we kept like watching us scoop up our dice is just so tragic. Watching us try to like, you know, chopstick our I feel like Lady Deathstrike over here. But then I mean, if you watch him do any other Dimension 20. He's not as draggy as he is with us. Like in even season 2, he stepped up the drag, he stepped up the costuming, and those nails. Then he was, I am really struggling over here, but it looked really good. It looked really, really good. Yeah. Yeah. And we just won a Queerty for Dungeons and Drag Queens.
Yeah. That was so exciting. Congratulations. It was so thrilling. I also really liked how you dropped the Too Wong Foo reference of Little Elven Boy in Drag. Why Are You Crying?
Oh, I forgot that I said.
That was it was a crossover I didn't know I needed.
Little Elven Boy in Drag. Why are you crying? I forgot about that. I said some really funny stuff. I should do comedy. Last night I did a show in Brooklyn and I got off stage and this girl was like, oh my God, she's like, Bob, you were so funny. You would think you were like a seasoned comedian. And I was like, well, I've been doing comedy for 16 years. And she's like, oh. I was like, it's because I am a seasoned. A lot of people actually don't know that I'm a stand-up comedian, which is actually my true trade. Like my real skill set is like stand-up comedy, and obviously penmanship and authoring. Imagine my penmanship is so bad. If I wrote this by hand, no one would be able to read it. It's that bad. It's that bad. Yeah.
I have like I'm a film critic too, so I have like notebooks of just no one will be.
Favorite film?
Oh, my go-to is Jaws, but second to that is probably like Velvet Goldmine.
God, I never seen Velvet Goldmine.
Oh, I'm low-key obsessed. It was like but when I was a baby it really should have clued me in that like no girl, like straight girls aren't that into this movie.
I'll watch it. My favorite film is probably The Color Purple.
Yeah, I mean it's an amazing movie.
Oh yeah,
That's
the original.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously,
No, but
it kind of goes without saying, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's practically a perfect film.
yeah, Whoopi and Oprah and that are just
Yeah, and a nice light watch.
yeah, it's really great for you're just like let's have some friends over.
You
Have
put it on in the background. They just walk around, clean up the house. You know what I mean? It's like Golden Girls, basically. They should do a new Golden Girls with all black cast. Whoopi should be in it.
Oh, that would be good.
So let's talk about this.
Yeah, I
Whoopi
love
Goldberg.
this. Okay.
Whoopi is going to be
Dorothy, right?
Yeah, Dorothy
Yeah.
Zbornak, obviously. Felicia Rashad is going to be Rose, Nyan.
Yeah. Interesting.
Angela Bassett.
Blanche?
I think she's going to be Sophia. Yeah.
Ooh.
And then we have Blanche left. Who's going to be like the kind of what's her name from Jack Hay?
I want this.
Jack Hay from Sister and 227.
Oh my God, she'd be so good as Blanche.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But also, I think those women are actually older than the women who were playing Golden Girls. They were actually quite.
The 80s were a very different time.
I think Estelle was like the second youngest person in the cast.
Yeah.
Estelle Getty.
Yeah, I see a lot of people they'll do like a Photoshop where they're like, if they didn't have hair like that, they would have looked younger. And I'm like, okay, don't.
But they did have hair like that.
Yeah, and they look great.
But
We
they
don't-
did.
yeah.
But they did have hair like that.
I don't love the idea of acting like we have to make women look younger to be worth our attention.
I agree
Like
with you.
those Photoshops annoy me because I was like,
Agree with you.
I watched during the pandemic. I got very into Golden Girls. Rewatching was like literally every day, just binge watching, and I was just like literally eating popcorn and being like, I want to be like this when I'm older.
You know, like let women age gracefully or age however you want. Stuff your face full of Botox. Get lip injections. Let your hair gray. Don't let your hair gray.
Right.
Wear wigs. Don't wear wigs. Shave your eyebrows. Don't shave your eyebrows. Do whatever you want to do.
Well, I said to my partner, I was like, I just love their life. I want to be that when I'm older. And he went, a widow? And I was like,
That's crazy. He's like, so you want a divorce. That's crazy.
I was like, sorry about that.
Well, he could be
Stan?
Stan. Yeah, you don't have to be dead. We can just be divorced.
Very good point. I'll bring this.
I can just resent you. You don't have to be dead. My
These are
God.
options: divorce or death. It's your
Yeah,
call, baby.
one of the two.
It's your world. This is not remotely a smooth transition, but I do want to make sure to talk about your book, Harriet Tubman Live in Concert. I'm curious how the concept for this came up.
Can I hold it?
Yes, please.
Oh my God, the fact that I can hold my own book is kind of nutty. RuPaul does this thing whenever she shows something to camera. She always does this. And on my season of Drag Race, she was wearing these acrylic nails because she normally would like do press on, but she was wearing acrylics the whole time. And I just remember her always going. I love historical fiction. It's this idea of like you take an event or a person that actually happened and then you just make up stuff. Like Titanic is historical fiction.
Yeah.
Rose was not on the Titanic, not that I know of anyway. But they made up this woman, put her on the Titanic, and then did the story. So I was reading a historical fiction piece called The Good Lord Bird by James McBride. My partner's mom recommended it, actually. She was like, it's a good book. And I could not put the book down. It was so good. It's about John Brown, who makes gets a brief mention in my book. This insane abolitionist and how he kidnapped this little boy. But John Brown thought he was a girl. So this little boy has to live as a girl for years, even through his puberty. And he's kind of like nervous. It's so absurd. I love this absurd notion put onto an actual real life event. So then I was like, I've always had an obsession with Harriet Tubman. I think she's just my favorite person who I think has ever roamed the earth. Her story is just so remarkable. The more you hear about her story, the more you're like, this can't be real.
Yeah.
Like you literally like, there's no way this happened. But then there are so many historians who are corroborating these stories, and they're just like, no, this happened. It's real. Like these things really, really did happen. She is that phenomenal. And I blended two things I love. I love hip hop and I love Harriet Tubman. So I was like, I remember thinking, and Harriet Tubman actually did use music in her work. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't be too far-fetched to imagine that if Harriet Tubman were working today, she would, like, you know, as an abolitionist today, she would not be using music in her work. And what better way to reach people than one of the most popular music forms to ever come out of America, which is hip hop and rap.
100%.
Yeah.
I listened to the audiobook, which I found really engaging. One, because you do the performance.
Yes.
And you have, I mean, like, obviously you have a great voice. Like we've established.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm a little bit.
I listen to a lot of audiobooks and I get very annoyed where certain people speak in a specific cadence no matter what is happening in the story. And it honestly makes it very hard for me to, like, as a reader, engage.
Yeah.
You don't do that. Like,
Well, I'm an actor. I mean, I didn't go to school for acting. I didn't graduate, but I went. I'm really proud of it. It took me 4 years to write this book, which is kind of crazy. From the time I got the offer to the time I said the final words on the audiobook, it had been a 5-year process.
I mean, honestly, I think that makes sense because I feel like, one, it's clear there's a lot of research into Harriet Tubman and what else was going on with the abolitionists at the time. But then on top of that, I'm curious what the challenge is because I will be honest, I watch more biopics than I read historical fiction or biographies, though I do enjoy both, an autobiography and a memoir. I love it. But within a biography, when you're telling someone else's story, a lot of filmmakers tend to be so respectful that it's kind of suffocating. What I appreciate about the book is it reveres Harriet, but it doesn't make like a clown of her or something, but it also tells us parts of her story that were certainly not things I was taught in school that kind of complicates our portrait of her in a way I think makes her more human and makes it more like, if she can accomplish this, why can't you be taking on bigger challenges?
Oh, yeah. If Harriet Tubman can take 13 trips from Maryland to Philadelphia, well, about 6 to Maryland, and then about 6 to Philadelphia, and then about 6 more to Canada. If she can lead a military raid, if she can found a home for formerly enslaved people, if she can become a cook, a seamstress, a community builder, all of that while being disabled, a Black woman in not just the segregated South, but in American chattel slavery South, 4'11", then I think you can probably get up and make it to work on time today.
Right. Another thing I thought was so interesting is that, like, because the Darnell's perspective is coming in about talking about the like music industry, and there's a part where he talks about how it's surreal to him that like Harriet Tubman likes his music. I was curious how much of your own experiences in entertainment, in making music, like fed into creating Darnell.
So I started making music. I started writing music like by myself in my bedroom when I was doing drag in New York City. I would write these songs. I think my first song was called Big Bitch. That was about me just being a big tall lady up in drags. And then but I started releasing music after Drag Race. My friend Mitch Freeman helped me release this song called Purse First. And I had written quite a few songs after that. And I've always loved like rapping and writing lyrics. And I used to do like battle rap in high school in the school courtyard. I had a pretty good reputation for it too. I've always had like a love for like lyricism. And then I like the idea of writing from other perspectives, which is why I wanted to write as Harriet Tubman, like write from Harriet. And honestly, the truth, I'm really writing from my own perspective.
Yeah.
Like in like a Harriet facade. Like it's truly, I mean, for all I know, Harriet Tubman would love hip hop. She might be like, I'm a jazz girly. She might like Chappell Roan. She might be into Sabrina Carpenter. I don't know what she would be into. She might be like, I'm more of a Dolly Parton type. I have no clue what she would like. So I have to create the narrative in my own mind. Yeah.
Anything else you want to tell people about your book or your next show?
Listen, if you want to get my book, go to readthedragqueen.com. People always ask me, what's the best place to get the book to like support you, where you make the most money? I get the question all the time. Honestly, the TikTok shop. If you go to my TikTok, click the first couple of videos. You can buy it right there on the TikTok shop. And if you get the audiobook, there are 2 original songs in the audiobook. 2 original songs included in the audiobook. And yes, I am reading the book myself. So you can go to readthedragqueen.com to get a copy of my book.
I love that.
Bob is just so effortlessly hilarious. Like one of those rare people who could like read you to filth, but make you feel amazing about it at the exact same time. Bob was like a big bucket list interview for you, wasn't he?
Yeah, I was really excited about this one and, a little intimidated because like ever since Purse First, Bob has just been kind of larger than life. And it's been exciting to just continue to see Bob finding new venues for all that talent and creativity, including this novel, which is like funny and smart, but it's also made me reflect on like the gaps in the history I learned growing up about Harriet Tubman, about abolitionism, about slavery. And, it's just so incredible to watch someone you admire take a big swing and see it pay off like this. Like bestseller, New York Times bestseller. How cool is that? And what do we have coming next week?
We have your incredible interview with Courtney about dangerous animals. Why don't you share with the people what that film is about.
This is a film that was made for me personally because it combines two of my favorite things, which are movies about serial killers and movies about sharks. And I'm realizing now I should maybe talk to someone about that. But I want to say it's not exactly what you're expecting. Like, it is a movie where Jai Courtney plays a serial killer who doesn't use guns or knives. He uses sharks.
He's an
And
environmentalist.
He's an environmental. Exactly. You get it. He's feeding the sharks. The sharks need to be fed, and he is here for them. Yeah, I'm really excited about this one because it is like, you might think you know what to expect. You might watch the trailer and be like, I got this movie figured out. You're wrong. And he was so much fun to talk to.
Well, I can't wait for people to listen to it next week on our show, Say More. And you can find us wherever you find your podcasts. You can watch us on Mashable.com or on YouTube. And leave us a comment or two on any one of those platforms and tell us who you think would win in Choose Your Squad. So let us
Choose a
know.
side. Ben, Ralph, or Jackie.
Which I can't even. I personally need your help. I need help picking the winner of this tournament. So it's up to you, and it's up to you to come back next week for Say More.
We'll be on the couch.
See ya.